Hey, what's up guys? This is Andre Strepa and welcome to a new video. So as a photographer, I'm always fascinated with what other content creators, photographers and videographers are using and why. So like what kind of gear is in their bag and why do they choose to use that gear and how does that make them create great stuff? So I wanted to do a what's in my camera bag, but I wanted to do it a little differently and I wanted to show you guys what was in my camera bag for almost all of 2019, if not the whole year. So let's get into this video right now. So I guess no better part to start than with the bag. My wife got this for me Christmas of last year and I love it. It's almost a year later and this bag has not let me down and it's everything I need in a bag. It's all weather sealed. I know I've gotten this drenched in the rain. All my gear was safe. It has a ton of compartments. This is how I have the bag laid out for everyday use. I use practically all of this stuff on the daily. So I carry a camera, 2 lenses, and some accessories, which I'll get into right now, but everything is sealed up tight, and I love these side compartments. I've become a huge fan of that to get your camera, because you're wearing your bag, and then you just sling it over, unzip it, and you get your stuff out. Works really good. So starting off with the camera, let's pretend this is a 5D Mark IV, because right now it's filming me. And the 6D doesn't have continuous autofocus, and that's why I can't really film that and show you. So currently this whole year I've been using the Canon 5D Mark IV. It is a phenomenal camera. I have nothing bad to say about it. However, there are some features I wish it had, which I'll get into in a second. The photography specs on the 5D Mark IV are incredible, no complaint there. And the video specs are honestly pretty good, especially because I came from a Canon 6D, which doesn't have continuous autofocus. It was a massive upgrade to gain all of those features, even 4K, even though there's a crop on it, it was really nice. Next up is the 16-35 f4 IS lens. This is the lens that I use for almost everything. I have a full-time gig shooting real estate for a team here in my area, and you need something really wide to capture real estate, especially something that's not gonna distort the lines and keep all the lines straight and linear. So the 16-35 is great for that. I went with the 16-35 f4 because it has image stabilization, which is a plus because I shoot it handheld. It's $1,000 less than the 16-35 2.8 version 3. I typically keep it at 16. I love that perspective, especially if you're filming yourself, you can hold the lens like right here. You're catching your entire face and like a lot of the scene around you, and so that's what this is for. Plus the fact that it has image stabilization makes those handheld shots even better, gets rid of those micro jitters. So I think this is a super solid lens. Let's put this back on the camera. Next up is the Sigma 35-1.4. This is the Sigma 35 1.4 art lens, and let me tell you that this lens is pretty freaking awesome. It's really small. It's 35 millimeters. It's a 1.4. It's super sharp at 1.4. It's perfect for low light. It's overall like my favorite perspective aside from 16. 35 is like the most natural looking to the human eye perspective. And I love that. And you can still get some amazing depth of field if you stop this down. And the great thing about this lens is it's incredibly sharp, even at 1.4. So especially if you're in like a low light scenario, instead of cranking up your ISO, opening this up to 1.4 is really reliable because that image is gonna be super sharp. And I freaking love that. I'll also get in some other lenses that I have that I don't really carry all the time, but this is the other lens you'll find in my bag. So 16-35 and a 35 1.4. I guess for a lot of my work this year, I didn't really need a zoom lens. I used to have an 85 and I sold it for a 50 because I never used it. Going on, the next piece of gear that I used all of 2019 was this Mavic Pro. Now let me tell you guys, this is a really sweet drone. I know that this is pretty much dated. I think this was, I guess, the first drone. I don't know how long ago this came out, but let me tell you, for what I do, I don't really need the Mavic 2 Pro, and video on this is still pretty awesome. I know that the Mavic 2 Pro is incredible, and that's probably what I'll upgrade to whenever I run this into the ground. Fly it into the ground. Hopefully I never do, but it's still really awesome. It takes raw photos and I use it every day for real estate. The quality is fantastic, especially because these photos are going online, so they don't have to be full res images. But the 4K video on this is actually really nice. When I was in Hawaii, I shot everything in 4K. The codec actually runs really nicely in Premiere. And I love that it's so small that it fits right in there. You know, I'd love to have something like a Phantom 4, but I can't justify carrying around a separate bag for that. It's not gonna be the same quality, of course, but I'd rather have a Mavic 2 Pro if I was really talking about video specs. Goes snug right in there. Along with the Mavic, I have, of course, the remote that connects to my phone and an extra battery. Along with the drone, I have a filter kit, so NDs, get that right shutter speed. So this is the Tiffin ND filter. It's a variable ND, and if you shoot video outside, you need one of these guys. Basically, these are sunglasses for your lens so you can keep the right shutter speed and you're not cranking up that shutter speed like crazy to be filming outside, especially at like really shallow apertures. So if you want to keep your shutter speed correct, get an ND filter. Next, microphone. This is the one that I used almost all of this year. I didn't use this on the daily because I wasn't making videos every single day, but this lived in my bag because whenever I needed a microphone, it was right there. And so this is the Rode Mic Go. I used this for all year, and I just recently upgraded to the Rode Mic Pro Plus, which sounds incredible. It's a big upgrade, I can tell. It's just those little details that goes from like, oh, that sounds pretty good, to like, wow, that sounds really good. So it doesn't live in here unless I'm going on a gig specific to it. I'll put that in there, but otherwise I'm okay getting this guy dirty and all that. So this is the one that went to Hawaii with me. Okay guys, other than that, that's gonna be, the rest is gonna be accessories, so I'll get into those real quick. This is the Peak Design Sling. I don't know exactly what this one is. So I recently got this because it replaced my old camera strap, which was just the one that came with Canon. And I didn't have this in my bag all year, but I had a camera strap with me. Reason being is because whenever I would shoot real estate or do videos handheld, I would put the strap like this, and then I would hold the camera like this, making this another point of contact, and I would get really smooth footage. So that was a little hack I still do for filming handheld. Last but not least is just gonna be this accessories bag that holds all the miscellaneous wires, batteries, and little tools and gadgets that I would need. Some of those being business cards, my AirPods, so you'll find chargers and all that in there. And then over here on this side, I have camera accessories. So like tripod plates, batteries, just other things I might need for my camera. And so that lives right on top. And other than that, that's pretty much it. There's a front compartment in this bag, but I just keep it empty because it keeps the size of the bag smaller. This could go in there, but I found that I don't need to carry 2 camera bodies in here, so it fits right in there. And then last but not least is gonna be my laptop. I have a 2015 MacBook Pro, and that lives in here whenever I'm traveling, going to meetings. I'm gonna ruin that. So yeah, guys, that's everything that I used almost every day, if not every week in 2019. Let me show you a couple things that I didn't use every single day, but I still used, you know, kind of frequently, if not like maybe a couple times a month or so. So the other things that I've been using as much is a GorillaPod. I haven't been vlogging as much, and I've also want to try out the fact that you can just hold the lens like this. Like I can just hold the 16 like this and vlog, rather than using this big giant setup that just like attracts more attention and whatnot. But this I use, you know, ever so often. And then my other lens is a Sigma 51.4. The reason I don't use this as much because once I got the 35, I just loved that perspective of just a little wider, but kind of keeping the same look as this. So I don't really have a need for this as much. It's like headshots, actually. I love taking headshots with this. That's what this guy is pretty much used for. And then I guess if in the scene I just want a slightly tighter shot, then I'll use this instead of the 35, but it's pretty much what I use all the time. The last lens that I own is the 24-1.4 that's on my camera right now. It goes down to 1.4, so it lets me film in this dark room, and it's great for that. It's pretty much my video lens. And then last thing that I use, and I don't carry as much, but still fits in my bag, is this gimbal. I recently made a video on this. If you guys haven't seen it, I'll link it up in the corner somewhere, but this is the Moza Aircross 2. It's pretty awesome. I would compare it to like the Ronin S, a more affordable option that works pretty good. Now I want to kind of explain the gear that I look forward to in 2020. Once a new piece of gear comes out that will help me do my job better or make better content, I think that is worth investing. Investing in yourself and your gear is always a move you can make. Again, for example's sake, pretend this is a 5D Mark IV. One of the things I wish my 5D Mark IV had was a flip screen. Right now, I wish I could see myself, so it would be more handy. Another thing I would love is if it had an electronic viewfinder. I shoot all of my photos in live view because it uses dual pixel autofocus. And whenever you're shooting through the viewfinder, because it's a DSLR, it's still using that phase detect contrast-based autofocus. It's still good, but it's not as fast and as accurate as shooting through here. So I'm thinking mirrorless might be the option to go in 2020. The last thing I'm gonna be upgrading is this setup back here. Not the screen. I love that screen. That LG Ultra Wide is a game changer for any of you guys that are still just working on your laptops. But I have a base 2015 MacBook Pro and I've kind of pushed it to the limits. I'm gonna need a faster, more powerful computer. So I'm looking at that new 16-inch MacBook Pro that came out recently. I think that hits all the check boxes that I need. So I think that might be an investment here pretty soon. So that's pretty much it. That's everything that I carried in my bag in 2019 for real estate, weddings, couple shoots, video gigs, all of that stuff got me through this year, and I'm really happy with all this stuff, and I plan to just make a couple changes here in the next year. Thanks so much for watching, guys. That's it for this video. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Comment down your thoughts on what you think of this and what's in your bag. I would love to know what kind of gear you keep in your bag, whether you're a photographer or a videographer. And subscribe if you haven't already. I would love for you guys to be a part of my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one.